What's up, party people? Happy Saturday and welcome back to Saturday Garage. This week we are getting into this C10. And when I say getting into this C10, I mean getting into the bed of this C10 to get that motor out, to put that motor into this Beetle. Now, admittedly, I have not always been the biggest Beetle fan, and frankly, I'm probably still not the biggest Beetle fan, but they have earned a place in my heart after I picked this one up a few months ago. I picked this one up a few years ago. I need to get with it. But I gotta say, this thing has convinced me that they are, one, very cool, two, super easy to work on, and honestly, almost embarrassingly fun to drive. So give me, based on my track record, about 30-35 minutes, and I think that I will convince you that you too think that Beetles are the salvation of our hobby. Okay, so hear me out. I think that our hobby is in some state of decline. I have no data to support this, but not as many guys are into it now. Not as many young people seem to be into it now as they were when I was in high school, let alone when my dad was in high school. Back in the day, cars were your ticket to freedom. They were your ticket to chicks. I think these days, kids have phones in their pocket. That's an entire world of freedom in and of itself. And frankly, there are chicks inside of the phone too. They have Ubers. They don't need to learn how to drive. They're not getting their driver's licenses. But that aside, there's this level of intimidation of working on something that you don't understand or even wanting to work on it at all. I got into it, well, one, for chicks, but two, because my dad was a car guy. He taught me everything that I know. I had that hands-on nights and weekends apprenticeship with him, which, thank you. The intimidation of not knowing what you're doing is a very real barrier to entry. So to all of those people who might have some amount of curiosity, I say this: go buy a bug. There is nothing simpler, cheaper, and more fun than a bug. It's just the way that it is. There's a million of them. Parts are plentiful, they are cheap, they're still being reproduced, and it is simple, simple, simple to work on. If you don't know the basics of mechanics and how cars work, a Beetle will teach you pretty quickly. It's the same thing as a V8, it's just flat and in half. If you want to graduate to a big block Camaro later on, great, you can set the foundation just learning how stuff works. The principles are the same. It's a carburetor, it's a distributor, it's internal combustion. So I say this: if you are at all interested, whether you're 14 or you're 40, a Beetle, specifically a Baja Beetle, because there's just less stuff in the way and it's easier to get to things, less frustrating, go find, I don't know, if you're in California, like $4,000 or $5,000 and you can go get a good Beetle. If you want a junky one, I don't know, $1,500. I'm not really sure what the prices are these days. I got a killer deal on that one. I've never pulled a motor on these things. Apparently, if you're really good at it, you can do it in like a minute. It's like 4 bolts and pull a bunch of wires and cables and hoses. Again, never done it, so I'm gonna go fumble through that and embarrass myself at how long it takes me. But I will be just like you. I've never done it before, and yeah, I'm gonna be able to pull it off. There is a tools list that I have procured from the internet. It's like this many things. It's not much. Yeah. Beetles. Cutting. Ugh. So I have never done this before. I did look on the internet, because also, if you're learning to do stuff, the internet is a great place to learn stuff. I am all over YouTube. I watched YouTube videos on how to pull a bug motor. I know that it's easy, but I wanted to be reasonably prepared to try to do all of this in one day. Now I found a list. It's a list of stuff you need. It's not very much stuff. Okay, so I need an 8mm, 17mm, 3/8 drive ratchets, I don't know what size, 1/2 inch, great, 3-inch and 6-inch extensions, 17mm socket. Let's go with a 17 deep. And well, I'm missing stuff. I'm missing things. Where's my shallow rack of metrics? Ugh, what a pain. What a pain. All right, whatever, I've got a deep. If I need a shallow metric and I don't have it and I ruin this single shoot day because I don't have it, that's gonna be annoying. All right, what else do I need? Vice grips, Phillips flat, great. Jack stands, those are over there, wheel chocks, I got a brick. All right, that's it, let's do it. First thing you need to do is disconnect the battery, even though mine has probably been dead for months. It's just a good idea. I know it's gonna be hand tight. It's always hand tight. All right. Look, we're almost done. Okay, so if you have a regular Beetle, this is the time where you would jack it up in the air, because on a regular Beetle, it's got this like sheet metal apron thing that goes around here and the bottom is open. So you jack it up the car and drop the motor out of the bottom of it. This super sick Baja style has this rear cage around it that is bolted here, and then two on the underneath. So I just need to pull that really quick. And then this whole motor is just gonna kind of like fall out of the back, which is why I say, if you're gonna go get a Beetle, go for the Baja style. It makes things much, much easier. I'm assuming it makes things much easier. I haven't found it to be easy just yet. I haven't found it to be hard either. I just haven't found it just yet. You know, I disconnected a battery. Like it's all I've done. No notes, no notes. What are you guys still doing here? What am I doing here? What is happening? Yep, bye. Everybody's fine. Hitting your hand hurts less than hitting metal. Haha. Heh. I swear this pile of rubble is getting smaller. So here's the plan for today. I would like to pull the motor out of this bug. If time allows, I would like to get this new motor in. I think that most of the parts that are on the old motor will transfer over to this new one. I know that they will all fit. I don't know if the application is entirely correct. So if you're a VW guy, please watch through. Give me your tips. I don't know what carbs match with what distributors. 6 volt, 12 volt flex plates, flywheels. 6 volt, 12 volt flywheels, things of the sort. There's a lot of interchange stuff that I don't really know, but I know that all kind of just, it all will interchange, but certain combinations work better than others. So please throw me your tips. If I can get the new motor in, great. That is a very, very complete day. I don't know how long any of this is going to take or what kind of roadblocks I'm going to hit, but I know that I'm going to hit some because that's just the way that these things go. Regardless of whether I finish it or not, it's still going to be a Saturday in the garage and I'm still going to be getting something moved forward, so it's going to be a good day regardless. What else? Okay, so this is the part, whether you have a Baja or a regular Beetle, where you disconnect anything that is a wire, a hose, a cable, or a tube that goes between the motor and the rest of the car. Now the inexhaustive list, because I don't know it, is you have an oil pressure sensor, it's right below your distributor. Boom, done. You have these heater riser hose things. Mine are already broken. Done. Other heater riser hose. Done. You have wiring to your generator. Now we've already disconnected the battery, so there's no risk of shocking here, but this carries all of the power in the car, whether it's 6 volts or 12, so disconnect the battery or be very, very careful. Okay. Just in case there's any 40 or 14-year-old noobs out there, always put your nuts back where they belong. This is a voltage generator wire. Remove it. Okay, now also pull these wires once you've got them out. Pull them out of the way. Tuck that up over here. Pull that away. Those two, just pull right out of the way. And those end up right back here. Out of that same loom, you've got the single black wire that goes over to this coil right there. Let's go ahead and plonk that off. You can do it, super cool guy. Seamlessly with the GoPro in one hand, boom. And then that whole thing also just pulls out of the way. That is greasy. That just brake lights, that's no big deal. That needs a rag. That's half the problem with this motor. I'll get into that in a minute. Okay. It's the throttle cable to the carburetor that needs to go away. Pull it down. There we go. Released. Okay, as much as it seems like it was way too easy, I think I'm done on the top side. Like, yeah, there's nothing connected left. There's like 6 wires. Just a bunch of stuff. I mean, listen, if you look it up online, this is not a how-to. Look it up online, it'll give you a list. It's not that long. I'm about to show you every single one of them though. I might have just shown you already. I probably laid those over. Whatever, it's easy. All right. Okay, so on the bottom side, there's 2 heater box hoses that run the heater channels. It's just a slide and a pull. Very easy. The heaters in these things run along the bottom of the doors and just sort of spray out in the front. They take the hot air from the motor and shove it forward. Heater tube 2, the slide. Yeah. And a pull. Done. So there's heater box hoses. There are 2 17mm bolts. There are 2 17mm bolts on either side of the transmission that go into the block, and there is a fuel line. Now the fuel line is coming out of the frame. Don't take it off at the frame, take it off up higher on the hose, otherwise it's going to drain your fuel tank. This is where you want to remove the hose from. I don't know if you can see it. Can you see this? Yeah, you can. This right here on the frame is where the fuel line comes out of. I replaced that fuel line many moons ago. I'll probably show you how that whole getting this going stuff some other time in some other video. This is fuel hose that comes up here. You want to release it up at this top one to prevent the fuel tank from draining. So quick worm clamp. Also wear safety goggles like I am not doing, just in case fuel wants to roll back and spill down into your eyeball holes. I don't recommend it. That sounds like a big old bag of suck. Now this is a tip that my dad gave me so long ago he doesn't remember giving it to me. Plug a fuel line with a golf tee. This is a golf tee from Staples from 1999, I'm gonna say. It's seeing a lot of fuel. It's a good tip. Keep it in your toolbox. Who knew Staples made golf tees? Is Staples still a thing? I feel like I haven't seen Staples since guys used to get into cars for the chicks. Come on. Golly, why is it so stuck? Come on, nuisance. There we go. All right. Fuel. Where's Staples? Staples. Tragedy. Emergency. All right. Can you see it? I don't know. I don't care. It's so much gas. It's on my arm. I don't like it. Panic. The sheer panic. All right, there you go. You see that? Can you see that? Look at that. Plugged. Plugged. All right. I now reek of gasoline. And I hate reeking of gasoline. All right, next. Uh, 17. Where's my 17? It's up here. Yep. Okay. That was embarrassing. I'm sorry about that. I apologize to myself here. Look at that. It's genius. The tapered goodness of a golf tee. All right. Now, let's get this up out of the way. Maybe slightly higher to fight gravity also. Now. All right, so I'm not super sure what you guys can actually see here, but suffice to say, this is transmission. That's the drain hole. This is oil sump on the motor. There's a nut here, and there's a nut here. 17 millimeters, both of those come out. I'm going to the deep, so I don't have a shallow, and I'm gonna need a shallow. That's awesome. All right, gonna try it with good old-fashioned wrenchy wrench. That is going to take a lot longer. I think it's going to work. All right, this is going to hurt. I can almost guarantee it. I can just feel a slipped wrench already, and it does not feel good. All right. Good thing I'm right next to my eye socket. That's super smart. Let's try this one. Anything? Okay, it's doing something. It's just so caked. Oh, there's rat poo, that's fun. Oh, golly. Nuisance! Alright, I'm hoping that gunk clearing will give me what I need, but it doesn't seem like it is. Come on. I still stand by these are super simple cars to work on. Oh wait, that's the wrong size. What the fuck? That's a 15, that's the wrong goddamn size. Oh, don't use bad words, kids. It's 17, that's what you want. Also, Mickey Thompson, that's what you want. Hi again. Hello. All right. This is so stupid. Why don't you fit? Really? There we go. All right. That seems solid. Golly. So like, I think there's a natural question of like, do I always talk to myself this much, or am I just doing it because there's a camera on me? And no, it's pretty standard. It's pretty much how it goes. All right, let me try this again. There it is. All right. Just needed to worry less about filming, more about the stupid wrench. Yeah, it's your fault. Also, thanks for being here. I appreciate you. See, super simple to work on. Like, very basic stuff.
Very not frustrating at all. Just 1/6 of a turn at a time. What is that, like 18%? 60, 32, 92, I don't know. What's 1/6 in a percentage? Quick, 5th grader, tell me. I mean, I guess while I'm down here, I could tell you a story. Oh, here's a story I can tell you. It's the origin story. All right, well, I take forever turning these nuts 1/6 of a turn at a time. Guess I'll tell you a story of how I got this car. So my girlfriend's friend lives up in this canyon area around LA, and he's lived up there forever, and he knows his neighbors well, and he knows that his neighbors had a bunch of cars, a few cars, just kind of rotting away in the backyard, and she needed to get rid of them. So we go over there one day, and he tells me about these cars, and his name's Mark, by the way. He's a cool dude. So we go over there one day, and he tells me about these cars, and he goes, hey, let's go take a look. I say, yes, please, let's go take a look. So in this woman's backyard, there is this Beetle, there is the panel truck that you saw in episode 1, and there's this very cool old, I think it was like a military ambulance, I think I've learned is what it was, but it was like a 65 Dodge Power Wagon. It was a W200, I think it was, 4-wheel drive, with basically a wooden and stainless like ice cream truck box on it. It was basically just Dodge fenders and chassis and motor, obviously, but like fenders forward, it was everyday run-of-the-mill W200, but everything back was like just a big box. That was there too. I made Mark a deal that, hey, I'll get the bug. I'll take the bug if I get the panel truck running for you. Cool, great deal. I loved that deal. And then, oh, that's stuff in the eyeballs. So I make this deal with Mark. Oh, this is not good. So I make Mark this deal that I'll get the panel truck running for him. He wants to use it as like a little surf wagon kind of thing, which is a great idea. I told him I'd get the panel running for him in exchange for the bug, do a little labor trade. I keep the bug. Cool, great deal. I go over there a few times, try to get it going. That motor is just frozen shut. It's not going anywhere. I ended up pulling ahead much later on, and it was very, very, very frozen. Anyway, he didn't want to take the time or the money to really go through that truck, which it needed everything. It was suspension and steering and fluids and brakes and a motor and a transmission and a rear end, which still needs to be done. Wasn't worth it to him, so whatever, kind of just let it sit on the back burner. Several months of me just thinking about that panel truck all the time later, he hits me up and he says, I just got to get these things gone, because at this time they were in his yard. He says, if you want them, just take them. Mark's a good dude. So I go over, I ended up giving him some money, I don't remember what it was, and I walked home with both of these, and that's how we got the bug and the panel truck. Golly, this is stupid. It's just 1/6 of a turn at a time, and it's just so annoying. Anybody know if these are pressed in or if this is just a through bolt? Because I'm spinning bolt, and I'm just now noticing that. Come on, I think this is a stud. It's feeling like a stud. Come on, come on. Ah, yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Studly. I can't get it out, but it's unthreaded. That's enough. All right, I'm out of here. You're coming with me. Let's go. Get out of here. Ah. That sucked. But bugs are super easy to work on. You should go buy one. Okay, so here's the thing about Volkswagens. Unless you're really young, you probably know that they were made in World War II in Germany. It wasn't a great time in human history in World War II era Germany. But here's something that, I don't know, I guess they sort of got right. Volkswagen means the people's car. It was designed as a car for the people. It was affordable, it was plentiful,
Parts were cheap, it was easy to work on, you could service it yourself. That is something that I feel like in today's society, both here in America and probably in Germany too, we've really gotten away from. This idea that you can work on something yourself. You can own something, and if it breaks, you can repair it. You don't just replace it because it's easier and cheaper to do. Things used to be serviceable. There used to be this, I sound like such an old man right now, but there used to be this idea that a thing was worth buying because it was going to last a long time. It wasn't get a new car every 3 years. It wasn't get a new phone every single year. You know how hard it is to replace the screen on an iPhone? It was sort of easy like 10 generations ago, but like not really a serviceable thing now. Like you've got to take it to them. They own the ability to repair your screen basically. So like, I guess what I'm getting at is this. I love the idea that something old like this Volkswagen is something designed to be fixed by you. It's designed to last, it's designed to endure. Now they made like 1 billion of these things and like a bunch of them got junked and crashed and whatever. They're not the most durable cars in the world, but like they're still plentiful. You can still get them super cheap. They're great projects. And if you want to learn how to do stuff, I think it's a great platform. Okay, so here's a little something that I realized that we can learn when we don't know much about cars by buying a Volkswagen Beetle. Now, we all know, because we all went to 7th grade, that warm air is less dense than cold air, right? Cool. If you didn't know that, it's true. So what we can learn here via Volkswagen is this. These exhaust pipes get warm, right? Now, there's this little heat riser pipe right here that takes warm air and it brings it up along this pipe, and it's sort of like wrapped, it's metal, I think it's aluminum wrapped around this pipe, which is the air intake that goes into the motor. So your carburetor mixes fuel and air together, which is what explodes inside of the motor, and it sends it down to this pipe, which is this top pipe here, bing boom to here. Now if this pipe is cold, the air is denser, there's more air to gas ratio than when this pipe is warm. When the pipe is warm, you've got the appropriate amount of temperature in the air, the appropriate amount of density, that when you tune this carburetor, you are tuning it to a warm motor. If this pipe never gets warm, this tune is always going to be off. So yeah, I don't know what you actually learned there, but you learned something. What's the distillation of that? Yeah, carburetors mix air and fuel together. You're not just squirting gas when you press the gas pedal. The gas pedal really should be called the air-fuel mixture pedal on a carbureted car. What else do we learn here? Warm air is less dense than cold air. You need to tune a carburetor when the car is warm. Otherwise, you're going to be tuning it for a operating condition that is not normal. Normally it's warm when you're driving it. If you tune it when the air is cold or when the motor is cold, it's going to run really well when the motor is cold, but less good when the motor is warm. So yeah, I think that makes sense. All that said, this heat riser that is attached to this exhaust pipe needs to come off. And then this exhaust can come off and I can clean it up and I can use it on the new motor. See? You learn things just by doing stuff. Let that be your lesson today. Got it. I got it. Don't worry, everybody, I got it. So you may be asking yourself, Mike, this is such a nice, pristine, dialed-looking bug. How could it possibly have a bad motor? I know, right? Like, it's crazy. But it turns out looks can be deceiving. So the problem was this. The previous owner had some sort of bad pedal situation. The mount, it's like a hard mount on the floor, and the pivot had broken somehow, and he really jimmy rigged something together to make it work. And it worked for a while. It actually worked just fine until I changed the carb on the motor, and it had a stiffer spring on it. That stiffer spring was enough to bend that flimsy bracket that he had made. So the pedal wasn't actuating smoothly, and I had to sort of like find the right angle to like push it over, to straighten out the rod, to push it down, which really just leads to this. I wasn't able to I don't know, drive it properly. It was sitting at idle a lot, and it was really struggling to have any sort of low RPM. It would either be at idle, or I would just get in that right spot and it would go all the way and just really rev high. So it's just like, it wasn't driving well. I was sitting in traffic one day and really having a trouble keeping it at a slow cruise speed. And bugs are air cooled. There's no radiator, there's no coolant, there's none of that to keep the motor cool. It requires air and airflow, not just from driving, from moving, but requires airflow from the motor actually spinning, and spinning kind of quickly. There's a big fan in it that keeps everything cool. So I think just sitting in traffic and not really being able to have even that little bit of low RPM smoothness, it was always like an all or nothing, and I was just kind of coasting it. I think that was enough to overheat the thing. It started knocking while I was driving. I pulled over, I got off the freeway in time to like really check it out, see what was going on. And by that point, it was pretty well seized. It'll turn, but it won't even fire anymore. So yeah, all that said, I ruined this motor because I didn't replace the pedal bracket, is honestly really what it comes down to. Yeah, sure, something like that. Okay, last bits. The final bits, right back here. One nut here and one nut here. Those are both 17s. We're gonna get them gone. Okay, before I pull those last two, I'm just gonna put some tension on the sump of this thing in case it wants to fall. I think it might. I don't know, but I like my toes. I like my toes. If you wanna pay me money, you can see them. Not above it. Sometimes it's even easier to work with GoPros because you get to see places without craning your head. And that's pretty cool. Pretty close to almost off. Also bring in the whole stud with it. Not GoPro, guide me. It's working. I got it. Oh, what the heck? Okay, so it's spinning with the stud, and the new question is how many turns until the stud comes all the way out? It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot. Oh, I know why. Okay, so that bolt is just spinning. I assumed that it was on a stud and the stud would come out. I've been doing that for 10 minutes. No joke, that is a 10-minute long clip of me just ratcheting and getting nowhere. You know, I told you that everybody watches YouTube videos to learn how to do stuff. Yeah, of course I do. There's a video of a dude who had the same problem, and I just remembered it 10 minutes later. It's a waste of 10 minutes. It's the starter bolt. There's a bolt on the starter that is actually what that nut goes onto that is spinning on the back of it. It is not a stud. I need to get vice grips, clamp on that thing, wedge it into something, and back that nut. Good times. I do still have 2 nuts on the top, so this is safe. Yep, that guy right there. Can I reach my 17? No, I cannot. Of course I cannot. Why would I be able to get to something I need? Let's try it with the vice grips. Okay, here we go. Good. Good, got that. That's good. Now, if I've done things 2/3 of the way right, motor comes out. Ah, the hell's that? Give me you. Where are you? Where'd it go? You up here still? Yeah, there you are. Look at this. All right, here's something I missed, and all the instructions missed, is this is the control lever for the heater. Now, that's pretty well cocked now, but let's see what we can do. All right, that's our throttle cable. I can just stay out of there. There we go. All right. All right, good to go. Look at me, I'm like a pro, real pro, a regular German. Feels like a nice lunchtime. I think that's lunch. I'll see you in a few. A 34-minute clip, that's a lot. I don't know if you want to see this, but it's part of my Saturday. Here's lunch. Cold chicken, tomato, Dijon. We were out of mayo, so Caesar dressing. I could do better, I just choose not to. Got better things to do. Yes. All right, so midday status update. Midday digestion status update goes like this. I was going to put the motor in today. That was the original plan of today. But we're suffering from this thing called might as well. And I might as well clean and paint the exhaust while it's out. I might as well replace CV joint seals while everything is out. Might as well replace shocks while I'm out. I mean, honestly, I don't need the motor out to do this stuff, but it's just so much easier to get to. I'm going to finish up today with transferring everything that I need from the old motor onto this replacement motor. I also need to figure out what clutch is on what motor. It's a 6-volt system that's currently in the bug. Now on bugs in this year, they ran a 6-volt electrical system. To convert to the later 12-volt style, which is much more common, it's really not that much stuff. It's every light bulb, which is not a ton, but it's light bulbs, it's a battery. It's supposed to be a starter, but I think you can run a 6-volt starter on a 12-volt system, which just spins really fast. But there's also a difference in the flywheel between the 6-volt and the 12-volt system. So I know I have a 6-volt flywheel that came out of the car. I don't know what's on the motor that's going to go into it, so I have to figure that part out. I don't know that I have a replacement alternator for this new motor, and I don't think the one that's coming out is very good, so I'm probably going to want to replace that anyway. Yeah, it's one of those things where if I've got it apart, I might as well just put it back together properly better rather than just done. I could probably get it all in and done and running again today, but I don't know. Why rush it? So what else? So there's a few things I know I need to take off of this motor to put on this one. Plug wires and plugs are going to transfer over. I believe the carb is going to, I mean, this is new. I know that it is. That one is of a different shape. It's a 30 picked 3. This is a question for Volkswagen guys out there. That has a single vacuum single vacuum diaphragm advance, I want to say. It's a vacuum advance. This is an 009 that's on here, I think. Yeah, no advance. I don't know dick about these things. I don't know a dang thing. I don't know a thing about these things. Here's what I know. This is a replacement from J-Bugs. I want to say it's a 30 picked 3. I don't honestly remember, but it's a single Solex something or another, and I don't see it saying anywhere. I can probably look at things and put it right here on the screen. So this is this carburetor. This is a 009 distributor. I know that on these bugs, distributor and carburetor pairings are fairly sensitive to get the thing to run really properly. On here now, on the new one, is a 30 picked 3 carb. It could easily be rebuilt. It looks pretty clean. It might even work just fine. And it is a single vacuum diaphragm advance, SVDA, I think is what that means. But it's got a diaphragm on it and a single one, and it's vacuum operated. Yeah, I assume those two pair well together. I don't necessarily want to rebuild that carb, but tell me if you know what those proper combos are, and if I have anything that mixes and matches here to work really well, I'll do that. What else? Fuel pump needs to come with me. Fan shroud, coil, generator, alternator / fan, and the stand needs to go over there. Exhaust manifolds need to make their way over there, and we're still TBD on clutch / flywheel combinations and or what's going to work or not. So we're going to figure that stuff out. I'm going to start with the simple stuff. I'm going to do plugs and fuel pump and steal the wires and wait for you guys to tell me about a carb and a distributor, and probably pull off a fan shroud and a generator stand, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm gonna do some more things, and I'm gonna try to make the best use of this Saturday, but I gotta be honest, I'm fading pretty quick. It's hot. It's not even that hot, I'm just tired. It's Saturday, man, I wanna chill. What did I get myself into? What else? I don't know, stuff and things. All right, well, let's do some stuff. 19 too small, 22. 22 too big. No 20s and 21s. No 20s and 21s. Spark plugs stay where they are. What the hell? Ugh, all right. Just wrecked the plug wire. Just totally took that apart. That's awesome. Let's see. Nope. And nope. All right, plugs stay where they are. Okay, that's dumb. All right, that's gotta come out first. All right, let's change this up. Carb, fuel pump, out, and then I think probably fan shroud. Totally winging it. If I had wings, I could fly, and I can't. Crepes. If you do have one of these old school bath air cleaners, they're full of oil. Don't spill them, because it's oil. Okay, this is dumb. Nope. Nope.
Nope, not doing that. It's hot, dude. Here's the deal, I can't get the fan shroud off because the tin screws are just kind of corroded into place. I got those soaking in WD. Can't get the generator off the front of it because I can't reach anything. Bugs are super easy to work on, trust me. They really honestly are. I can't get the exhaust manifolds off because it's sitting on the cart. I don't feel like wrenching my back getting it up. I just don't feel like it. I could do it. I don't feel like it. I'm super strong. I don't have the correct socket to get the spark plugs out. I've already broken a plug wire, so I'm just going to get a new set of those. I can count teeth. I can count teeth on a flywheel. Let's do that together, shall we? All right. From the leaf. Not counting the leaf, in case I need to go back and verify this. I don't know. Okay, here's another thing I could use your help with VW, guys. 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, ha 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 ha, 70, 71. New motor, the 1300, has a 130 tooth flywheel on it. The motor coming out is a 109 tooth flywheel. It seems as though, by about a quarter inch, the 109 tooth is bigger than the 130 tooth. Just what I'm measuring. Tapeoma measurer says, let's just go to that stud, 11 and a quarter-ish, probably 11. Let's call it 11 inches versus probably a dissimilar, visually dissimilar. Oh, actually, yeah, a tad shorter, 11 inches. So it actually seems like it's a quarter inch smaller of a flywheel. But even regardless, it's a different tooth count, 130 versus 109. I don't honestly know what that means, if they interchange or not, if that same 6-volt starter will work or not. I can look it all up, but VW guys, please chime in. Let me know what the interchangeability is and or what my best move here is, because I don't know this stuff. You do. Hook a brother up. And what's next? I don't know, there's nothing else I can really take off of that motor till those screws penetrate. I have to go pick up a dog soon. He's at a play date. He's having so much fun. I don't know. I've got a trans cross number or a trans mount that I can change. Sure. We're not getting very far today, guys. But you know what? It is a day, and it is a day well done. It is progress. So I'm going to take it. We'll see how much farther we can get, but please don't cry if this is like a 12-minute video. It'll be easier to edit. I like that. Goodbye. Should be satisfying to wipe this thing out. All right, so here's the thing that I can do to keep on moving in this day, get something done. And this is what I consider to be sort of a design flaw in the 1940s GM, 1940s German design. This has a bad transmission mount. In order to change the transmission mount, you have to remove the motor. It seems silly, honestly. Is there a better way to do that? Maybe make this a stud and a through nut here? I don't know, maybe. I'm not an engineer, but it does seem like, I mean, it's really not that much work to take out a motor. I guess it's really not that bad, but here we are. I'm going to remove 2 nuts, pry this thing up, and replace this transmission mount, which was causing for, if I remember right, it was rough to get into second, I think because the transmission was flexing. If I recall correctly, that would be correct. If I don't, then it would be incorrect. That's the way that being correct works. All right, a couple of nuts, trans mount out, and I will get something else done today. I don't know what it is yet, but something else will get done. Okay, bye. This goes there. This is the transmission mount. This is the replacement that just lives right in there, just sandwiches in. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts, and everybody's happy. Maybe everybody's happy. I really don't know that yet. Also, tell me what you want to see next week, because I'm really just winging this. Here's where I stand on upcoming projects. I need to rewire the green truck. That doesn't feel like it's a great episode, honestly. What I would do in that is probably get my dad over here, who is not much better at wiring. Like, he's competent at it. I am incompetent at it. I can get stuff done. I can follow directions. I can crimp. I can do all that kind of stuff. But like,
It's not my strong suit. I'm not comfortable doing it. Every time I do it, I have him remind me how electricity works. So maybe I'll come over, have him come over and have him remind you how electricity works. What else? C10. What I need to do is pull the bed, finish plumbing a fuel system. I guess I don't need to pull the bed for that. It'll be easier to shoot if I pull the bed. Pull the bed, finish running a fuel system. I have a fuel tank in it already. I need to stick in a pump and a sending unit and run lines and do all that kind of stuff. My plan for that is to LS swap it. I know, it's boring. I get it. Mother father!
What in the
But
world?
my plan is to LS swap it in a single weekend, in a single day. So that means having all of the auxiliary systems ready to plug in. So I want to finish the fuel system before I put a motor in it. I want to wire in the computer before I put a motor in it. I want to put the AC in before I put the computer in. I want to have all the systems ready so it can still be a running, driving truck in the meantime. And then one day I can just wake up early, come out here, yank a motor, plop in a new one, and hopefully, and that's probably not going to happen, but a boy can dream that in a day I can have it in and at least plumbed and hooked up and easy to fire up. That's the hope. I can't do that yet because the bug's in the way. I can't pull the bed off with the bug there because I got nowhere to put the bed. I need to finish bug. I do want to get into the duster because I need to see actually what is wrong with the duster. The Cliff's notes are this. It is a Gen 3 Hemi in that car. There are two versions of the Gen 3 Hemi. There's the early and the late. The early has much less good heads. The later has these eagle heads on them they flow much better. They make a lot more power. On Hot Rod Garage, we had the early motor with the early heads in it, and we attempted a conversion to convert the late motor or the early motor to a late motor. Now it's not just swap over the heads. It's a different piston dome. Compression is different, so you need to run a thicker head gasket to keep compression reasonable for pump gas. It was a whole thing. I spec'd all that stuff out. I'm pretty sure I got it all right, but it doesn't work good. You know what? Check this out. Look at the big brains on me. Hold on. So that's a problem. That bottom end might be lunched, but I'm going to do some diagnosing and figuring out what's going on with that motor. Ooh-wee. It doesn't want to stay running. It'll crank, it'll fire, it'll sort of go. I get the feeling there's a really big intake exhaust or a really big intake leak or a big vacuum leak or something. It is carbureted. I don't know what the problem is, but I want to find out. I'm sorry for talking so quickly. This is 6 kinds of bad idea, but I don't have a 7th, so hold on. Dicey jack transmission mount. That's called engineering. Let me know what you guys are interested in and what you want to see. I have the minivan also, which has a turbo sitting, waiting for me to install. A upgraded turbo, it's bigger, it'll be faster. Turbos are cool. I also have the DC2 Integra, which is our wheel drive swap on Super Street Garage. Good golly, all right, I need one more block. Okay, one more stinking block. I don't know, tell me what you want to see. In the meantime, thank you for being here. Saturday Garage, here every Saturday or every other Saturday, depending how busy I am. All right, one more stinking block and one more stinking camera. That's Ecamm, welcome to it. Just in case this ends in catastrophe, we can see it from many angles. So, I'm gonna reset this. I'm gonna go safer and put the blocks under the jack. Okay, keep it sketchy and put this one on top. May I? Son of a bee sting. Oh, that's just bending. That's just full flex. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I need to pull that. I'm gonna try that. I might need to pull these two to loosen this to let this kind of separate from this trans cross member. That's exactly what's happening. Oh yeah, look at that settle back into place. Might want to replace that one too. Put it on the list. This is stupid. Don't buy bugs. Boy. Just shaving aluminum off of this transmission. All right. Super simple stuff. Let's see if I can get this new one in delicately and easily. All right, that was so easy. All right, I'm gonna call that mostly done. Got the bad mount out, I got the good mount in. I may have made the other good mount a bad mount, so I'm going to withhold on tightening everything down to replace that newly bad mount. I have other things to order anyway, so no big deal. I'm not holding myself up, not putting this back together. But hey, another thing got mostly accomplished today. I got a motor out, I got a trans mount in, I got a few things off the old motor, I got nothing on the new motor. What else did I not get done today? A whole bunch. There's a whole bunch I didn't get done. Oh, I did successfully disconnect the battery. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. There's still more day. Let's do more things. Good plan. I'm probably going to replace the clutch, but I think the clutch that I have is for a 6-volt flywheel. Can always order another one. I don't know, I got a bunch of parts I really need. I just wish that I had them up here and I could really look at it and see. I thought I was prepared with my boxes. Oh wait, I am prepared. Okay, what do I have? I have a clutch disc spring type, 180 millimeter -66, German. I didn't think that I brought this up. Okay, little teeny tiny baby clutch. All right. What else do we have? Oh. Clutch cover, 180 millimeter, 6 volt. Okay, so this is for a 6-volt system. I think I might want to return this and get a 12 volt. I mean, I'm already apart. I might as well do it already. I believe the only other things that I would have to change are all of the lights, maybe the starter, wiper motor, I think. Starter solenoid, starter, other stuff. Can you guys hear that? There's like an opera singer. I really hope you can't, because that's going to be annoying to edit out. All right, tell me what I should do, 12 volt or 6 volts. What else do I have in here? I have a sweet Baja Bug license plate frame that actually, you know, it's got license plate lights in it. That came on it. That's pretty good. Headlights, these are probably 12 volts. The guy, the previous owner, seemed to be in the midst of a 12 volt swap. There is a alternator down at the shop that I didn't bring up that I believe is for a 12 volt system. So I have a lot of the stuff already, I think. Let's see. Rear main seal, probably not a bad idea. Alignment tool for a clutch. Carburetor base gasket. I need to make a list of stuff that I need. Some sort of boot. Oh my God. The other transmission mount. I should just do this right now. All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna go do this right now before it gets dark. Tell me those things that I need to do. 6 volt, 12 volt, 130, 109, picked 3 and an SVDA, or the picked, I don't remember, and a 009. I'm gonna go do this. Bums. What is this? What did I even buy? All right, well, glad I didn't clean anything up. We're gonna finish a job. We're finishing a job today. This is good. All right. All right, these guys come back off. Dude, the stash comes through. All right, look at that, like nothing. Battery's toast. Of course it's toast. Oh my God. Cutting. 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 All right, I'm done. I'm just done. I'm gonna charge a battery. I'm gonna cut that off some point this week. I'll probably throw in that mount sometime this week if I can spare an hour here or there. I don't have a job. I'm sure I'll find time. What else? Oh, here's something I wanted to talk about. Pretty much done here for the day, but I started off today talking about how the kids just aren't into cars anymore. And it's not entirely true. I know it's not entirely true. And I was proven today that that wasn't entirely true. That more importantly than saying the kids don't care about cars, it's up to you and me to like foster these kids liking cars. Maybe teen is too late to care, but like, when I was a kid, I was building model cars all the time. That was kind of one of the steps getting into it. And if you haven't seen it, go give a watch to Steve Mignonte's Supermodels over on Motor Trend. It was a great show that I made with Mignonte. Loved it. It's still available on Max and or Discovery, whatever their thing's called. Anyway, that's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is that kids care about what you tell them to care about as a adult figure in their life. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So I have nephews. I have a bunch of nephews. I have 4 of them. They stopped by today while I was working and made me art. They nailed the logo 100%. And they just do a really good job. This is clearly the panel truck because it's green and yellow and red. That's the patina. And it's got muddy tires. Like, this is honestly awesome. But really, that's what it comes down to. You've just got to tell the kids what is cool. And guys, not only are you cool, but also that art is very cool. Thank you. I'm saying thank you on TV to you. Anyway, yeah, we just got to foster the kids. They will care if you tell them that it's cool. And guys, cars are cool. Let's go build some cars, huh? What do you want to drive when you're like 16? Oh, your mom's going to get me in trouble. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I didn't get done nearly what I wanted to get done, but I still got a bunch of stuff done. That's what happens. Thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to check out my friends on the YouTubes as well. Freiberger and Lucky and Alex and Tony and Dirthead Dave and 4x Williams and Steve Mignonte and I'm missing people, I know that I am. But like, support your local motor trenders. We need you. Also Wiley and Dulcich over at Shifted and both Newbern and Cotton are doing the YouTube things. Derek, obviously, as if I need to tell you that. I don't know. Yeah, thank you for being here. We appreciate the support. I speak on behalf of all of us. We appreciate the support. We can do this without them. Fucking suckers. Is that it? I think that's it. No dog features today. I'm sorry about that. Next time. I think Penny's going to be back next week, actually. We'll see Penny again. Yeah. All right. Later.